Shalom. Man, first and foremost, man, I just want to give all honors, praises, and glory to y'all about Shimmy Shai. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, Ruel, and I also like to give honors to the Akim that's out here pushing his truth and sincerity to the four corners. I just want to say Shalom. Now, what I'm talking about right now is I'm basically, man, I'm talking about the day, or y'all see the title, you know. I'm talking about the death and the resurrection of our people and the day when the Most High sent the Messiah down to destroy this place. And because a lot of people don't understand Paul's writing, so they don't really get or understand what's being said because they're not getting the true understanding. And so that's why we at Great Millstone, we try to break it down so that, you know, our people can understand. You know, we got to break it down for understanding. But a lot of people can't break it down for understanding if they don't understand themselves. So, without no further ado, I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna go right into it. And like I said, this is the death and the resurrection of Israel, our people, in the day of Yahweh, in the day of the Lord, when the destruction comes. I'm gonna start in and it's just breaking down the 1 Corinthians chapter 15. This is 1 Corinthians 15 and 35. And it says, but some will say, how are the dead raised up? And with what body do they come? Thou fool, that which thou sowest is not quickened except it die. So first, before we even get started, we're going to examine the word quicken, because we're going to get a full understanding of what the scripture is talking about. So the word quicken. Okay, so the quicken means to have life eternally, because, you know, while you're in flesh, you dead. Though you live and breathe, you still dead, because your flesh, it has a shelf life. The spirit does not. You know, it lives eternally. You know, so that's what the word means. And so we're gonna continue, and this is 37. And it said, and that which thou sowest not that body that shall be, but bear grain. It may chance of wheat or of some other grain. But Yahweh giveth it a body as it hath pleased him, and to every seed his own body. So every living thing it's got its own form of flesh, you know. Be it the flesh of plants, you know, the flesh of animals, or the flesh of humans, which is called terrestrial flesh. So let's examine that word terrestrial. We're gonna look up the word terrestrial real quick. We're gonna go to the Strong's and look this up. Okay. Hold on. Okay, let me go and look it up real quick. Because I had all of this in here. Okay, now, the word terrestrial, as soon as it come up, be having a little problems, but we're gonna get this truth out here. Okay. Strong's. Okay. Okay, now, we're gonna look it up in the Greek. And we're gonna, okay. Okay, this is one. I'm gonna bring it up in the Greek through the Blue Letter Bible. As soon as it load up, and the Greek word is from the Strong's G1919, and it's apigios. And let's see what it says. Okay. It means earthly or flesh, or in earth. It means terrestrial. So terrestrial means earthly or flesh. Okay? Now, let's go back. Let's go back to where I was. Okay. Okay, so we know that terrestrial means flesh. Okay, we're gonna look up the word. Also, while we're doing, we're gonna look up the word celestial. Okay, and we're gonna see what the word celestial means. Okay, So we're gonna look that up real quick, and after that we're gonna get right back to it because I know y'all wanna get back to what we're doing. Okay, so celestial. And we're gonna look that up in Strong's Concordance. Okay, and that's gonna be, and this is gonna be and we're gonna look it up in the Greek. And it's coming, y'all. It's coming. It's coming. So, okay, it means heavenly. It's it comes from the word it comes from Strong's 2032, and it means operanios, which means heavenly, celestial, heavenly spirit, the spirit of spiritual. And then it says divine, spiritual. And then it says properly heavenly, referring to the impact of heaven's influence on the particular situation or person. So let me go back. So we know that they are opposite words. Celestial and heavenly are opposite words. Okay, now that we know that, let's go back. So we're gonna get the full understanding. Okay. The heavenly beings the inhabitants of heaven, Lucian, the gods of angels in opposition. Then it says the bodies of the stars, which the apostle, according to the universal ancient conception, seem to have regarded as animate. So celestial also means the body of the stars. The stars are the planets, right? Okay. So it says heavenly beings such as the angels. So the bodies that they have are the ones that we will have. The bodies that the angels got. They got celestial bodies. So those are the ones that we will have. Then it also says the body of the stars. And those are the stars of the planets, such as the earth. And what did the scriptures say about the earth? Okay, let's go to Ecclesiastes 1:4 real quick. It says, one generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. So the earth lives forever because it's celestial, that gives life to the terrestrial. So let's continue on. It said, all flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds, which I was just bringing out. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, which are opposite things, fleshly and spiritual. It said there is one glory of the sun and another glory of the moon. Those are also celestial things. Those are the stars, the planets. And another glory of the stars, for one star differeth from another star in glory. So everything's not created the same, you know. Everything is created for its own glory, to do its own thing. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption, and it is raised in incorruption. It is sown in dishonor, and it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, and it is raised in power. So it was created in flesh, which is corrupted, and raised in spirit, which is uncorruption, right? Salaki, incorruptible. So this is, I'm going to go to verse 44. And it is sown a natural body. It is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. So the first Adam was made a fleshly person, right? And the last Adam was made a celestial spirit. And that first and last, or Alpha and Omega, is the Messiah. We all know this. But those that don't, that's the truth. And we're going to get off into that too. It said, howbeit that was not first, which is spiritual, but that which is natural. So the first thing was what was natural. And afterward, that which is spiritual. So the spiritual comes after it. Because the spiritual only comes, Salaki, hold on. The spiritual only comes after the natural. Okay? Let's go up. It said okay, the first man was of the earth because he was born in flesh. And the second was of Yahweh from heaven, because he was raised from the dead and made a quickening spirit. And then let's go back to 48. It says, as is the earthy, such are they also that are earthy. And as is the heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly. And as we have borne the image of the earthy, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly. So as we live in flesh, we will also live in spiritual, in the spiritual bodies or celestial bodies. But that can't come till after we shed these bodies. But we're going to get into that. And 1 Corinthians 15:50, it says, now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahweh, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. So another reason why other nations cannot inherit the kingdom of heaven is because flesh and blood cannot inherit this kingdom of the Lord. So this is why Israel must receive new bodies, celestial bodies, in order to be able to inherit this kingdom. And then it says, behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we all shall be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. So, no matter if some of us who are flesh have died, or those of us who remain to the destruction, we will all receive these celestial bodies. The dead who are the elect, they're going to raise up and be changed also. And listen to this. And this is 53, and it said, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that it is written, death is swallowed up in victory. Death, where's thy sting? O grave, where's thy victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. But thanks be to Yahweh, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Yahweh Shai. So we all have defeated death, because once we receive our celestial or our spiritual bodies, we will have defeated death, and we will no longer have a body that has a shelf life. Because the wages of sin is death. And since the laws will be written in our hearts, we're not going to sin anymore. Because we'll have shedded our corrupted flesh and put on incorruptible flesh, which is our celestial bodies. And when you're breaking that passage down, a lot of people don't understand that that's what that means. That's what that means. The kingdom of heaven, you can't inherit the kingdom of heaven unless you shed this body, this corrupted body. You're not going to go to the kingdom like this. So if you think when the destruction comes that this flesh ain't going to die, it's going to die. We're going to shed this. But we're not going to die. Well, I'm going to put it like this. The elect of Israel, the chosen of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, will shed their bodies. The rest of them will be destroyed. And they have to be born again into the kingdom. They'll die that second death. The elect won't die that second death. So I just wanted to bring that part out, man, because I was just dealing with that with a brother, and I had to bring that part out. But I'm finna go out on the highways and hedges, and I'm finna go and teach. But I needed to bring that out first, because it was on my spirit. So with that being said, I just want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. I like to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and I also like to give honors to the Akim that's pushing his truth and sincerity to the four corners. Just want to say shalom.